Yes, students. So just now we have completed the C3 pathway. Now let us come to the C4 pathway. C4 pathway. C4 pathway. C4 pathway. Yes. C4 pathway. In some plants like sugar cane, jowar, maize, and some of the monocots like cereals and dicots like amaranthus. C4 pathway. In some plants like sugarcane, maize, jowar, and dicot plants like amaranthus, the first stable compound formed after fixation of carbon dioxide in the dark reaction is the 4 carbon compound. Is the 4 carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid. That is oxaloacetic acid. Hence the name C4 pathway. Hence the name C4 pathway. In some plants like sugarcane, jowar, maize, monocot cereals, and dicots like amaranthus, the first stable compound formed after the fixation of carbon dioxide in the dark reaction is the 4 carbon compound. That is oxaloacetic acid. Hence the name C4 pathway. Those plants which exhibit C4 pathway are called C4 plants. Those plants which exhibit C4 pathway are called C4 plants. Example: sugarcane, jowar, maize, amaranthus, etc. Got it? What I am telling you. Since the C4 pathway was first discovered by two scientists like Hatch and the Slack, hence it is also called as Hatch-Slack pathway, also called as HSK pathway. Hatch-Slack pathway, also called as HSK pathway. Hatch-Slack pathway, also called as HSK pathway. Since this reaction was first discovered by Hatch and Slack, hence it is also called as Hatch-Slack pathway, also called as HSK pathway, also called as HSK pathway. I think it is very clear for you. Okay, let's repeat. In C4 plants, the primary CO2 acceptor is phosphoenolpyric acid. This reaction is catalyzed by PEP carboxylase enzyme. PEP carboxylase enzyme. In C4 plants, primary CO2 acceptor is the phosphoenolpyric acid. This reaction is catalyzed by PEP carboxylase enzyme. In photosynthesis, C4 plants are more efficient in photosynthesis. C4 plants are more efficient than in C3 plants. Than in C3 plants. Than in C3 plants. That is why C4 plants are capable of present in tropical temperate regions. Tropical temperate regions. Tropical temperate regions, because they have capacity to tolerate the high temperature. That is why these are always present in tropical temperate regions only. I think it is very clear for you. Or we can say that C4 plants are more efficient in fixation of carbon dioxide than the C3 plants. C4 plants are more efficient in fixation of carbon dioxide in more efficient in CO2 fixation than in C3 plants. That you should keep in our mind. C4 plants, in C4 plants, both C3 pathway and C4 pathway takes place. Both C3 and C4 pathway take place. In C4 plants, both C3 and C4 pathway take place. Got it? No. So here in mesophyll, C4 pathway takes place. In mesophyll, C4 pathway takes place. In bundle sheath cells, C3 pathway takes place. C3 pathway takes place. You remember this. In C4 plants, both C3 and C4 pathway take place. In mesophyll cells, C4 pathway is happening, but bundle sheath cells C3 pathway takes place. I think you are getting it. So C4 plants exhibit a special type of leaf anatomy. A special type of leaf anatomy is called cranch anatomy. A special type of leaf anatomy is called cranch anatomy. According to German, cranch is nothing but halo or wreath. Halo or wreath. Got it now? So this is also very important. C4 plants exhibit a special type of leaf anatomy is called cranch anatomy. According to German, cranch is nothing but halo or wreath. Is a special type of leaf anatomy where mesophyll is not differentiated into palisade and spongy cells. Bundle shaped cells contain chloroplast without grana but contain starch grains. E is called cranch anatomy. I'll repeat once again. E is a special type of leaf anatomy where the mesophyll is not differentiated into palisade and spongy cells. Bundle shaped cells contain chloroplast. Bundle shaped cells contain chloroplast without grana but contain starch grains. So this kind of anatomy is called cranch anatomy. So once yesterday only we have completed the structure of the chloroplast. Suppose if the grana are not there, that chloroplast it looks like a halo only. So here bundle shaped cells contain chloroplast without grana but contain starch grains. That is why it is called cranch anatomy. So this is the special type of leaf anatomy present in C4 plants that you should keep in our mind. As I said, C4 pathway in C4 plants both C3 and C4 pathway takes place. C4 takes place in mesophyll cells. Then C3 takes place in bundle sheath cells. Let us consider this is the mesophyll cell. This is the bundle sheath cell. Bundle sheath cell. This is the bundle sheath cell. Here, okay, you know that first stable compound in the C4 plants is the 4-carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid. This oxaloacetic acid breaks into malic acid. Malic acid. Okay, oxaloacetic acid converted into malic acid. Later, this malic acid breaks to form pyruvic acid and carbon dioxide. Pyruvic acid and carbon dioxide. Pyruvic acid and carbon dioxide. Both pyruvic acid and carbon dioxide enter the bundle sheath cells. Bundle sheath cells. Then pyruvic acid again come back to the mesophyll cells. It is a 3-carbon compound. Now, so this, okay, pyruvic acid is converted into phosphoenol pyruvic acid. This is also a 3-carbon compound. So this phosphoenol pyruvic acid is the primary CO2 acceptor in C4 pathway. So this reaction is catalyzed by PEP carboxylase enzyme. This reaction is catalyzed by PEP carboxylase enzyme. So these are the changes happening in the mesophyll cells. In the dark reaction, the carbon dioxide is fixed by Rubisco enzyme. That is in the Calvin cycle. You remember this. So Calvin cycle takes place. C3 pathway takes place in bundle sheath cells. C4 pathway takes place in mesophyll cells. You remember this. I think you are getting this. So in the mesophyll cells now, the first stable compound is the oxaloacetic acid. Clear? So phosphoenol pyruvic acid fix the atmospheric carbon dioxide to form 4-carbon compound called oxaloacetic acid in the presence of PEP carboxylase enzyme. Since the first stable compound formed here is the 4 carbon compound, hence the name C4 pathway. Now later, this oxaloacetic acid converted into malic acid or aspartic acid, malate or aspartate. Clear? Malic acid breaks into three molecules or three carbon compound called pyruvic acid and carbon dioxide. Both enter into the bundle sheath cells. Then again the pyruvic acid come back to the mesophyll cells. Here this pyruvic acid is converted into phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Then in carbon dioxide in the bundle sheath cells fixed by Rudisco enzyme happening in the Calvin cycle or C3 pathway. I think it is very clear for you. So that you should keep in mind. Got it? Know what I am telling you? So this is the C4 pathway. I'll repeat once again. In some plants like sugarcane, maize, jowar, and dicots like amaranthus, the first stable compound formed after the fixation of the carbon dioxide in the dark reaction is the 4 carbon compound. Hence, it is called C4 pathway. Those plants which exhibit C4 pathway are called C4 plants. Example: sugarcane, jowar, maize, amaranthus, etc. The C4 plants are more efficient in fixation of CO2 than C3 plants because listen to me. C4 plants are more efficient in photosynthesis than C3 plants. You remember this. So that is why C4 plants are always able to tolerate the high temperature found in tropical temperate regions only. Clear? Since this cycle was proposed by two scientists like Hatch and Slack, hence it is also called as Hatch-Slack pathway or HSK pathway. As I said, in C4 plants, both C3 and C4 pathway takes place. C4 pathway takes place in mesophyll cells. C3 pathway takes place in bundle sheath cells. This is the C4 pathway. This is the C3 pathway. Got it now? All the C4 plants exhibit a special type of leaf anatomy is called Cranch anatomy. According to German, Cranch is nothing but hollow or width. Is a special type of leaf anatomy where the mesophyll is not differentiated and the bundle sheath cells contain chloroplast without grana but contain starch grains. So this kind of anatomy is called Cranch anatomy. You remember this. I think it is very clear for you. In C4 plants, primary CO2 acceptor is the phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Clear? Now let us come to the what are the differences between C3 plants and C4 plants? Some simple differences we are going to discuss between these two. C3 plants and C4 plants. So number one, the plants with the normal leaf anatomy. Plants with normal leaf anatomy. Plants with normal leaf anatomy. So plants with cranch anatomy. Plants with cranch anatomy. So plants with normal leaf anatomy. Normal leaf anatomy is nothing but here the mesophyll is differentiated into palisade and spongy cells. Cranch anatomy, just now we have discussed special type of leaf anatomy where the mesophyll is not differentiated. Bundle sheath cells contain chloroplast without grana but contains starch grains. Clear? Next, second difference is here the mesophyll is differentiated. Here the mesophyll is differentiated into palisade and spongy cells. Here the mesophyll is not differentiated. Mesophyll is not differentiated. Next one is bundle sheath cells. Bundle sheath cells. Bundle sheath cells do not contain chloroplast. Bundle sheath cells do not contain chloroplast, but bundle sheath cells contain chloroplasts. Bundle sheath cells contain chloroplasts. Here the primary CO2 acceptor. Primary CO2 acceptor is RUDP. Here the primary CO2 acceptor is phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Primary CO2 acceptor is RUDP. Primary CO2 acceptor is phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Then here the first stable compound formed is the 3-carbon compound, that is phosphoglyceric acid. Here the first stable compound formed is the 4-carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid. So these are the some basic differences between C3 and C4 pathway. It occurs in all plants with normal leaf anatomy. It occurs in plants with cranch anatomy. Here the mesophyll is differentiated into palliser and spongy cells. Here the mesophyll is not differentiated. Bundle sheath cells do not contain chloroplasts. Bundle sheath cells contain chloroplasts. Primary CO2 acceptor is RUDP. Primary CO2 acceptor is phosphoenol pyruvic acid. First stable compound is the 3-carbon compound, that is phosphoglyceric acid. First stable compound is the 4-carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid. I think it is very clear for you. So this much you should remember under the C4 pathway. Yes. Now let us come to the CAM pathway. Let us come to the CAM pathway. Nothing but crusulation, acid metabolism, crusulation acid metabolism pathway, crusulation acid metabolism pathway. Actually, this pathway is not in the photosynthesis, but in ecology, second POC, steric adaptations in plants. We are going to mention the CAM pathway. So that is why I am explaining here itself only. Crusulation acid metabolism pathway. Shortly it is called as CAM pathway. CAM pathway is the fixation of carbon dioxide during night seen in succulent xerophytic plants. Xerophytic plants belonging to the families like Crassulaceae, Orchidaceae, Crassulaceae, and Euphorbiaceae Those plants which exhibit the CAM pathway are called CAM plants. Those plants which exhibit CAM pathway are called CAM plants. You can take the example Bryophyllum, Opuntia, and also Sadium, etc. Got it? Know what I'm telling you? Crusulation acid metabolism pathway is the fixation of carbon dioxide during night, seen in succulent xerophytic plants. Succulent xerophytic plants belonging to the families like Crassulaceae, Orchidaceae, and Euphorbiaceae. I think some students are getting the doubt about what is the meaning of succulents. Succulents means these plants store water in the form of mucilaginous substance. These are only called succulents. For example, you take aloe vera. In the aloe vera, parenchyma cells store water in the form of mucilaginous substance. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಝೀರೋಫೈಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ವಾಟರ್ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಯಾರೆಂಟೈಮಾ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಲೇಜಿನಸ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಜೆಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸಕ್ಯುಲೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Belonging to the families like Crassulaceae, Orchidaceae, Euphorbiaceae. Those plants which exhibit the CAM pathway are called CAM plants. Example, Bryophyllum, Opuntia is a type of cactus, Sadium, etc. Clear? Okay. In CAM plants, stomata remain closed. Stomata remain closed during daytime to check the transpiration and open at night. In camp plants, stomata remains closed during daytime to check the transpiration and open at night. That is the specialty. Remember this. In camp plants, stomata remains closed during daytime to check the transpiration and open at night. During night, when stomata opens, no, the carbon dioxide diffuses into the stomata and it is used for the synthesis of an organic compound is called malic acid. This process is called acidification. During night, when stomata open, no, carbon dioxide diffuses into the stomata and it is utilized for the synthesis of an organic compound called malic acid. This is called acidification. This is called acidification. During daytime, when stomata are closed, the malic acid is converted into pyruvic acid. Malic acid is converted into pyruvic acid and carbon dioxide. This process is called deacidification. This process is called deacidification. In camp plants, by acidification and deacidification only, opening and closing of the stomata take place. Clear? So this much you should remember under the camp. I'll repeat once again. Camp pathway is the fixation of carbon dioxide during night, seen in succulent xerophytic plants, belonging to the families like Racellaceae, Orchidaceae before BSc. Those plants which exhibit camp pathway are called camp plants. In camp plants, stomata remains closed during daytime to check the transpiration, open at night. During night, when stomata open, no, carbon dioxide diffuses into the stomata and it is utilized for the synthesis of an organic compound called malic acid. This is called acidification. During daytime, when stomata are closed, no, this malic acid is converted into pyruvic acid and carbon dioxide. This process is called deacidification. As I said, by acidification and deacidification, opening and closing of stomata takes place in the camp plants. Clear? So with this, we have completed the pathways in the photosynthesis. Light reaction, C3 pathway, C4 pathway, camp pathway. I think you're getting it. Now let us come to the photorespiration. 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 Okay, listen. Here just you remember the definition and which are the cell organelles are involved in photorespiration. That only they are going to ask in the competitive exam. By splitting that word, you can get the meaning actually. After photosynthesis, I am going to explain the respiration in plants. But here I am explaining photorespiration. Photorespiration. Photo means light. Respiration is nothing but oxidation of the food molecules. Oxidation of the food molecules. Oxidation of the food molecules takes place in the presence of sunlight by utilizing oxygen. By utilizing oxygen, is called photorespiration. I think it is very clear. Oxidation of the food molecules in the presence of sunlight is called photorespiration. Is called photorespiration. That you should remember. So this in plants, the photorespiration is the wasteful process because neither ATP nor NADPH2 are reduced here. Formed. Neither ATP nor NADPH2 are formed here. That is why it is one of the wasteful process. That is should keep in our mind. That is why it is one of the wasteful process. Got it? What I am telling here. So that is should keep in our mind. So here, the phosphoglyceric acid, phosphoglyceroldehyde, or we can say that RUDP, ribulose biphosphate, utilize the oxygen and reduce to one molecule of phosphoglyceric acid, and phosphoglycocolate. During this process, as I said, neither ATP nor NADPH2 are produced. That is why it is one of the wasteful process. It takes place in three cell organelles. One is the chloroplast, mitochondria, and peroxisomes. Chloroplast, mitochondria, and peroxisomes. These are the three cell organelles involved in photorespiration. I think it is very clear. Okay, I'll repeat once again. Oxidation of the food molecules in the presence of the sunlight is called photorespiration. As I said, it is one of the wasteful process because neither ADP nor NADPH2 are produced here. It takes place in three cell organelles: chloroplast, mitochondria, and peroxisomes. Chloroplast, mitochondria, and peroxisomes. That you should keep in our mind. So this is the photorespiration. These are the 3 points you should remember under the photorespiration. Clear up? Okay. Now let us come to the external factors. Let us come to the external factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis. One by one we are going to discuss. External factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis. Usually there are two kinds of factors which influence the rate of photosynthesis in green plants. One is the external factors, also called as environmental factors. Another one is the plant factors. According to NCERT, there is no internal factors or the plant factors like leaf anatomy, then age of the leaf, quantity of the chlorophyll. These are some of the internal factors which influence the rate of photosynthesis. Leaf anatomy, quantity of the chlorophyll, age of the leaf. Okay, let it be. Now we are going to concentrate the environmental factors. First one is the sunlight. Sunlight is one of the important environmental factor which influences the photosynthesis in most of the green plants. It influences the rate of photosynthesis by its three ways. One is the quality of the light. Next one is the quantity of light. Next one is the duration of the light. So these are the three ways by which light influences the rate of photosynthesis in green plants: quality, quantity, and duration. By its three ways, sunlight influences the rate of photosynthesis in green plants. Okay, first let us come to the quality of the light. What is quality? Quality refers to the colors of the light. You know that our sunlight contains all colors of the light. In one word, we can say Vibghaya. Here, we have to learn under which light green plants can show the maximum rate of photosynthesis. Earlier, one scientist, his name Robert Emerson, he did a simple experiment actually, and he only proved under which light plants can show the maximum rate of photosynthesis, under which light plants can show less rate of photosynthesis, under which light plants cannot show the photosynthesis. Till today, that only we are following actually. What he has proved, what he did now, he kept a small green potted plant inside the laboratory. He has provided the red light to the potted plant, certain duration. Then he has withdrawn the red light, provided the blue light, same duration only. And he noted the rate of photosynthesis in different colors of the light actually. Finally, he came to the conclusion. Like that, first he has provided red, blue, green, yellow, ultraviolet, infrared, violet lights actually. Finally, he came to the conclusion and he decided under which light plants exhibited the maximum rate of photosynthesis. According to his experiment, most of the green plants can show the maximum rate of photosynthesis in red light. red light. Slightly less in blue light. Slightly less in blue light. Minimum in green, yellow, and violet lights. Minimum in green, yellow, and violet lights. Under infrared and ultraviolet rays, plants did not show the photosynthesis. Plants did not show the photosynthesis. That is should remember. So, green plants can show the maximum rate of photosynthesis in red light, slightly less in blue light, minimum in green, yellow, and ultraviolet lights. Under infrared and ultraviolet rays, plants cannot show the photosynthesis. Got it? Actually, first he has provided the red light. Then he dropped the red light and provided the blue light. ಈ ಎರಡು ಲೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ನು ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ರೆಡ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಇಂದ ಬ್ಲೂ ಲೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್. ಈ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ red drop mechanism. Red drop mechanism, also called as Robert-Emerson enhanced effect. In the competitive exam, you can expect the question like this. Robert-Emerson enhanced effect is associated with options I give: transpiration, gradation, absorption, photosynthesis. So, among the four options, we have to select the photosynthesis. So, this is the quality of the light. I think it is very clear. Yes, good. Now you take small break. After the break, we will continue the quantity of the light. Thank you.